If you're feeling frustrated, you're doing life right. You should feel frustrated in anything you do. So if you're feeling frustrated, if you're wondering like, why is everything going so badly? How do I get to where I want to go? That's what we're going to dive into. My name is Heather Quizzle. I help women in relationship-driven businesses to get the confidence, the focus, the leadership skills they need to level up their business and level up their life. So yesterday, if you missed it, we did a Q&A. Just fire off all your hottest questions. I'll do my best to give you thoughts, perspective, ideas, and personal experience. And we ran out of time, which is a good problem to have. Jessica Holderman had a good question that I was wanting to make sure I dove into because it's what all of us want to know. And she was asking me in a business vein, like, how do you keep going when you can't see the end, when you don't know if it's going to work out? Like, how do you keep going when it's hard, right? And how many of you can relate to this? Because I know if you're like me and you're a human, which means you are, we do a lot of things as humans that's hard, right? Anybody been a mom? First time mom? Like, that's hard, right? Like, and how many times were you up late thinking like, how am I going to get through this? How is there ever going to be a light at the end of this insomniac, right, tunnel? So we're going to always experience hard things. And what I really want to dive in today is that question of how do you keep going? And this applies to relationships. This applies to your business. This applies to raising children. I mean, this is one of those universal things. How do you keep going? Okay, I'm going to give some personal perspective here for you. And I think this is three-pronged, okay? Now, in my business, and I will say in my life too, but I'm going to lean on business. Why am I going to lean on business? Because business is what has enlightened me to how to make myself a better person. Everything for me really started launching in my life when I started a business where I knew I could have impact, I could be important, I could serve other people. As a stay-at-home mom, I never felt that, okay? Even as a preschool teacher, I never felt that I had long-term, big reach impact. And for me, business is one of those motivators. So the minute I jumped into business, that's when I really started working on myself, becoming a better person. And I feel like in this last like 8 years, it has been like a mecca of healing, of experiences, of learning, and all the things. So for me, business is the catalyst that has made all of this relevant. Does that make sense? So when it comes to like, how do you keep going? And if you've ever started a business, are in a challenging relationship, had a kid, you know, there always are going to be times when things just aren't going well. You feel like everything is just spiraling down around you. How do you keep going? And it's three-pronged, okay? Number one, you've got to have a long-term vision. Like, you've got to hold the vision. I will tell you, in my business, right out of the gates, it was super fun. I really needed a community. I needed people around me. I needed people to pat me on the back when I was doing a good job. Like, that recognition was really, I didn't realize how much I needed it. But then it got harder. And this happens in business, right? We have beginner's luck. And then you have to get to real work, improve yourself. Am I right? And so it got real hard, real fast, and real hard. And the whole time, I remember constantly asking myself, and I would encourage you to ask yourself, is this worth it? I think that's a really important question. Is this worth it? I would ask myself sometimes daily in business. Sometimes it was seasonally. And I still catch myself asking myself that when I start a new project, start a new piece of content. Is this worth it? And I could always say, yeah, this is worth it. This is really sucking right now, but the money I wouldn't find anywhere else. That's one of the biggest blessings. I came across money that to me was big, and it trapped me in there longer which forced me to keep going and figure it out, okay? So there was a vision there. I had a vision. I wanted to become somebody. I wanted to do something with this. I wanted to coach, train, mentor people. And ultimately, I wanted to create a business that would give my husband options, opportunities, right? I couldn't do that playing small. So I would always ask myself, is this worth it? And I'm keeping my eyes on the vision. And at the end of the day, for me, that was always worth it. The other prong of this, aside from really holding that vision, is working on yourself. Working on yourself. Now, my father-in-law never went to college. He has been a hard worker his whole life, hard worker. But the man has made himself intellectually and financially very, very smart. And I remember him telling me, this was just last year, he goes, here's the thing that people don't understand. Wherever you are, you may be cleaning toilets, you may be, shoveling dirt, you may be, working a job around people you don't like. He said, that doesn't matter. It's not about you. You've got to do your very best in any scenario you are. And to do that, it comes back to the mind. So you've got to work on yourself. So yes, around you, it might be a disaster. Around you, you might not enjoy where you're working at this moment, but you've got to get yourself in a place where you can make it work for you. Does this make sense? You've got to make it work for you. So you got to work on you. You've got to work on your mind. Start learning new skills. Start learning new skills that are going to make you stronger the next time, in the next season, in the next step. Do the preparation of yourself so that when you have the opportunity to make a business move, when you have the opportunity, whatever, you are sharpened, smarter, wiser, and more prepared for that. So you got to work on you. When you can't control things around you, when you can't control your environment, when you can't control the relationships that are walking out on you, when you can't control the fact that you've got a colicky baby, when you can't control that you don't quite know what the hell you're doing in business, the one thing you can always control is you. You can control what you learn. You can control how you think. You can control your behaviors and your habits. Focus on that. And the third process, the third prong of being able to get through the hard times is trust the process. Yeah, trust the process. And this has a lot of different meanings. Trust the process in long term means like trust the universe, that it's working on you in your favor in a long haul vision. Trust that. But it also means trust the habits, trust the daily steps. Here's the thing, when you start focusing too big, oh my God, my life is horrible. He left and my job is terrible and I can't make this business work and my kids won't pick up their shoes. Like when we start thinking too big, we get overwhelmed. Everything seems to be awful. So the trick is to narrow your focus. The trick is to narrow your focus, like in this moment. What can I do in this moment to relieve some pressure? What can I do right now? What action can I take right now that will prepare me, that will move me, that will make me smarter, right? Okay, so you're hurting because a relationship has gone wrong. What can you do now to just live in this moment and be okay? And so you've got to learn to like put your blinders on, put your head down, and just like get to work, whatever that means. Get to work on yourself, get to work on healing, get to work like actually taking action steps, right? And at all times, my friend, you got to protect your mind. You've got to protect your mind, because the mind left alone, I will say this repeatedly, the mind left alone will absolutely eat itself. It will eat itself. It is the most destructive, piece of life when left unattended. But when nurtured, it is your most powerful tool for anything. And that's the thing I want you to know the best, like control your mind, protect it. If that means you have to stop being around certain people, if you've got to stop behaving in certain behaviors, if you've got to stop talking to, thinking about, watching certain things to protect your mind, to keep your blinders on, to just take care of what needs to happen now, that's what you do. Okay, so when it comes to getting through, how do you get through the hard stuff, my friend? It's hold the vision, trust the process, it's work on you. Ask yourself repeatedly if this is worth it. If it is not, then you get out. Plain and simple. I mean, that's an easy question. If it's not worth it in the long run, if it's what you're doing and the hardship right now, if the hardship right now is not worth it to get to the end goal you're going to, then bail. But man, if you can say, yeah, this is worth it because this vision I have is so big, so strong, I know I will get there. If I work on me, if I put my head down, if I trust the process, then boom, you got to stick it out. You just stick it out. And here's one more little nugget. This is one more little nugget. I have learned that no matter how hard it feels today, wait 3 days, it'll be completely different. Wait it out. 3 days, it'll be completely different. By next week, you probably won't even be thinking about this tomorrow. By next season, you'll have forgotten about it because that's the way it goes. So trust, my friend, keep going, dig in, keep those blinders on, and it's just a right now hurt. I promise you. All right, my friends, great coming to you this morning. Cheers to you. Have a great day. Mwah.